KA's in the back.
Where I'm gonna be over here. It's fine. Well, good morning to you all. Yes, my whole family came with me. I always ask them to show up and support, and they do, as always. So I have my favorite aunt, Vernetta, my brother, my oldest brother, Donnie, my mom, Sarah Lynn. I'm sure you can tell we look just alike. My husband, Jeremy, my second oldest, Jeremiah, his brother, Jackson, my niece, Miss Rain. I don't see my nephew, Des. He might be doing his own jam right now. My sister, Sharia, and my sisters, Samantha, and then y'all move my niece and nephews around. Dominic, Dawson, and where's Sky? There she is. She doesn't want me to point her out. So I really do appreciate this opportunity. I went shopping and everything. I drew on my eyebrows. I popped the tags. Like, this was a big deal for me. So without further ado, if you can pull up the slide. I don't have a clicker. Will I see you back here? Okay. Well, while that's getting pulled up, so I am born and raised in Galveston. I worked in Alvin for 3 years. I was the SEL counselor. I'm just buying time, y'all, just until it pulls up. So I'm going to just tell y'all a little bit about me while I'm up here. And my partners and I, they're not here today. One of them is in a tiny house somewhere in Texas. She is not enjoying it at all, but she is celebrating her anniversary. My other partner, she is in New York with her daughter, who's a dancer, and she's really phenomenal. And so I came to you today because he's Coach Blacklock at school, but Reverend Blacklock asked me to come here. So we got together, we met each other because I had moved into a new position. And when I got there, my kids were having a really hard time transitioning to a new school. And I was like, I really need to do some grief work for them to be able to understand how to better support them, because a lot of times people don't really take that into account as to how it affects kids when they move from school to school. And so I did this training called When Children Grieve, and from there, it took off like wildfire. I told the girls that I was working with, hey, y'all, we need to do this training. And sure enough, our district did it. They paid for us to get the full certification for it. And then from there, we just created our business. So we specialize in grief and trauma support. And we love working with kids, adults, just people in general, and letting them know, what you're experiencing is real. You don't have to make it up. It's not something that's just going on in your head. Nothing's wrong with you. It's very much what's right with you. And so that's what I start off teaching kids, what's right with them. Is the PowerPoint going to come up for me? Yeah. I mean, after a while, I'll just start singing because I don't know what else to say. All right. Well, I'm going to just keep going. Is that okay? And I'll catch y'all up when it pops up. So the first thing, before we get started in anything, the 3 things that we're going to go over today is, 1, how your brain works. It's like learning about your hardware. You got to know how the actual device works. What is your brain supposed to be doing? The next thing, how to support yourself, and then how other people can support you. Those are 3 things that are really important. But I know I've been in education a very long time, so at any point, if I sound too much like a teacher and you get really bored, I learned how to meditate at a really young age because we used to go to 3 services a day. So we start off at Sunday school, and then the next morning service, and then we had afternoon service, and then my mom sometimes took us to the late night service. So just know, if at any time I get too long-winded, y'all just go ahead, scoot down, get the hook of your head right there on the seat. Just close your eyes and meditate. It's fine. I'll be over soon, okay? All right, we up now. All right. So you can click to the next slide. Those were the ladies that I told you I work with or not. Here we go. There we go. So there's Faye. She's in the tiny house. And Ashley, she's the one in New York. So next one. And I already told y'all what we're about to go over, but there it is on the board again. And then, so some basics that you need to know about your emotions. One thing that you really need to know is that your brain wants two things. It wants to know that it's safe, and it wants to know that it belongs. Anytime we don't feel safe or we don't feel like we belong, we're going to go off, like one way or another. Either we're going to isolate ourselves, we're going to get upset. There's something that's going to be done that your brain is going to let you know, like, hey, something about this is not right. We actually feel our emotions 200 to 5,000 times faster than we can think a thought. So when you think kids are acting impulsively, they are, because their brain is designed to do that. And we're designed to do that as adults as well. Click, click. There we go. One more. Thank you. The first language that we learn is actually in emotions as well. So when you start to learn to speak, you don't actually lose the ability to speak in emotions. It's the first thing that you learn when you come out. How many parents had to actually teach their kids how to cry? Nobody. Nobody had to be taught how to cry, how to laugh, how to enjoy themselves. That's because it's the first language that we actually speak. This is why by the time you're 1 year old, you can also recognize the people you feel safe with and who you'll go to, and the people that you want to get away from really quickly. It's just innate. It's a survival tactic for us. What you also need to know is that our brain, can y'all tell I'm nervous? Because I really am nervous right now. So I do apologize for the pauses for a moment. Our brain stores our emotions and our memories together. Anytime we've had a memory that we enjoy, if I say, think about your favorite person in the whole wide world and remember like what y'all did. Normally when you start to tell me the story, you're going to start to do this thing where you like flash your teeth at me and you start laughing as you try and tell the story because you think I'm like right there with you in it. And I have no clue what's going on, but it's because that's the way your brain is designed. It gives you the emotion and the memory. It stores it together. But the same thing happens when it's something that's unpleasant. You cannot take them apart. You cannot turn off your emotions. They're naturally designed to feel that way. So now we're going to get into like knowing more about how your brain works. If you can hold up all 5 of your fingers. Tuck your thumb down. If you go like this, that kind of is an unregular brain. I don't know how to work with those. But this thumb, if it goes down and then close your fingers on top of it, this is your brain, okay? This is your prefrontal cortex. This is the part of the brain that thinks. It helps you. Oh, you can click to the next slide. Thank you. This is the part of the brain that is designed to help you make decisions. It's designed to help you recall what's going on. It's designed to help you feel cool, calm, collected, and make rational choices. So we're going to do a check to see if your prefrontal cortex is working this morning. I really wish I could sing like y'all right now. But we're going to do it in song. I'm a 90s kid growing up, so I really want to see how many of y'all know some of my favorite 90s shows. Y'all ready? You're just going to finish the lyrics. In West Philadelphia. Born and raised. Most of my days. Chilling out and relaxing out. Hey. Nice. Very nice. All right. That was an easy one. I'm going to give you another one. Oh, you want a church song? Okay. I got the V. Hey. Thank you. Nice job. Very nice job. And then one more for Vacation Bible School, because I had to go to that all the time, too. Father Abraham. Had many sons, and many sons had Father Abraham. I am one of them, and so are you. So let's just praise the Lord right on. Oh, y'all went all the way, huh? There you go. So this is the part of the brain that we enjoy being in because we can recall stuff. We're cool, we're calm, we're collected. I start there. Why? Because I want y'all to pay attention to what I'm saying and ignore the fact that I'm up here shaking and shivering the whole time. Okay? But what you also need to know about this part of the brain, it does not start forming until you're about 7 years old, and it doesn't finish until you're about 25. So how many people are between the ages of 18 and 25 right now in here? All right. Ooh. Can you say an extra prayer for them, please? Thank you. Only because on the outside, everybody thinks you're an adult now. You should know what to do. You should know this. You should know that. And the reality is your brain is still developing, just like if I had a 7-year-old in front of me. And so we have to give you the credit for what's actually there. So you're not going to always make a rational decision. Sometimes you're going to be off an impulse, but that's okay because your brain is designed to do that. So far, so good. So right now we're like this. All right? Now, next slide. You're going to go like this. Now, this is your limbic system. This is where your emotions and everything is stored. When our brain is here, it means like we're on high alert. So y'all going to keep hearing about my 90s childhood because I loved it. And do y'all remember Steve Irwin? Yeah, the crocodile? Crikey, mate. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate you right now. He talked a lot about animals, and then we would watch the Animal Planet all the time. And so there were the meerkats. Y'all know what the meerkats do, right? Can we click the video for that or nah? Or not. So I guess I'm going to act for y'all too. Okay? So the meerkats, anytime that they sense danger, they will come out on the hill. They will stand there and turn and turn and turn. And so, when people talk about your head is on a swivel, that's what's happening when your brain is like this. It does not want to think about the songs. It doesn't want to think about your happy memories. It only wants to know, is there danger coming my way? Is somebody about to do something to me that's not okay? What's going on here? What do I need to watch for? So it's pretty much getting ready to pop off, right? We have to know that this part is in existence because you want to be able to catch it before you go all the way to the red, okay? When we get to the red, that's when we are not able to think clearly. But when we're in the yellow, we can still figure out, okay, what do I need to do to help myself right now? But sometimes we're not able to get back regulated, and we go all the way to here. So now our brain is no longer trying to figure out, what to do. It's saying, hey, it's about to go down. Oh, yeah, it's about to turn up time. You see? It's going to turn red, I promise. There we go. All right. So now, at the point that your limbic system is going off, I added sound effects to this right now. So can y'all help me out, please, again? Can you just go, Keep going. Keep going. We have 15 seconds worth. Now imagine me talking to you. Keep going. And telling you about your brain right now. And then you keep doing it. And I just make you do this the rest of the time. Perfect. Thank you so much. It would be really hard to learn from me if y'all were doing that the whole time while I was talking, right? So the reason that's happening is because your brain is basically sounding an alarm. At school, we do fire drills every single month. Every month. I don't know why they think that all of a sudden we're not going to know how to do a fire drill, but we do fire drills all the time. This is like when the fire alarm is going off in your body. It's saying, I'm not safe here. I don't feel safe and I don't belong. Not just I don't feel physically safe and like somebody is about to come for me, but it's also I don't feel safe emotionally or culturally or spiritually or emotionally or financially. Those are also things that can cause this part of the brain to go off. This is the part of the brain that has been with you since the time you were born. It was fully formed, fully developed, so it never had to update. The only thing that keeps it updated at this point is what you're experiencing in life. It's taking everything you see, taste, touch, hear, and smell and saying, am I safe? At the point that it thinks you're not safe, it's going to sound the alarm. And what does it sound like? Y'all got it. Very good. When we pop off, y'all probably know what this already looks like. This is when we fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. So we start off with freeze. It's just like when you hear boom, all of a sudden, what are we like? What was that? Like, where did that come from? That's your body saying like, hey, I'm not safe here. I got to figure out what's going on. If you cannot figure out what's going on, your body will then go into adrenaline, and then it will pump adrenaline through you, and then it will say like, hey, we got to get up out of here. And that's when you feel like that nervous energy. That's when you like start to get anxious or irritable, and you say like, whoo, something not okay right now. Y'all got to see a taste of mine, right? I'm like, I'm shaking and shivering up here. And then if it says like, oh, no, this adrenaline is going to be needed to protect ourselves, now we're going to go into fight mode. And so fighting doesn't always mean you're fist fighting with somebody. This can mean when you're arguing a lot. This could also mean when you're having to yell at somebody or tell them to get out your face, or you physically get into an altercation with them. That's what this part of the brain is supposed to do, okay? When you are a kid, this is the part of the brain that you rely on the most. This one and the yellow one. That makes a huge difference with how you're talking to kids and when you're handling them, because their brain doesn't go to the green like ours does. They don't have the ability to rationalize and make sound choices all the time. A lot of times it is what they feel. I do feel like this because that's what's really going on in their body. If we don't recognize what's happening in their body physically, we'll never be able to reach them. So far, so good? All right. So when they are feeling this way, we have to know how to regulate. So how to bring yourself down. One thing that people come to me the most for is like they tell me something's wrong. And a lot of times I'm like, nah, it don't sound like something's wrong. You've been through a lot of stuff. So your panic button is going off way more than you expected. So your panic button can go off anytime you're experiencing trauma. If you live in trauma, if you live under chronic stress, if you have a hard time talking to friends, or you're getting bullied at school, or homework is stressful, those kind of things, and you stay under chronic stress, parents aren't home often. I hear a lot of different stories from a lot of different kids all the time. It really can vary as to what you perceive as traumatic for you. So it's not always going to be the physical and sexual abuse. Sometimes it's something as easy as like, I didn't have nothing to eat last night, okay? That red button, it gets bigger, it gets louder, and it stays on because their body is basically saying it's not safe to ever go off. And when it does go off, it feels like a jump scare is about to happen. So instead of them thinking like, okay, everything's good now, I'm okay. Nah, they think like, oh, you're trying to get me, right? You're trying to get me. You're just trying to set me up because, you know, I can't trust you already, okay? But to be able to regulate yourself, this is like Band-Aids. So it's like you have a major injury. Imagine if your arm was broken and I said, here, put this Neosporin Band-Aid on it. You kind of be like, ma'am, you need to stick to your other job, right? But we do have to be able to learn how to regulate ourselves to be able to first be able to think again. And so while this is not a solution to everything going on, this is just a start to be able to get you back to a place to where you can figure out, what do I need to do next to restore safety within me, okay? So some of these things are really simple, like drinking water. Staying hydrated is really good for you because anytime you're kind of dehydrated, your mouth getting cotton mouth and all that, your body starts to think like, I'm under stress. And so you will start to respond with those stress responses. Your window of tolerance is going to shrink and you're going to pop off even more. So if your kid is like going off, say, go get some water, please. Just go get some water. You can start there. None of these are like one-stop shops either. Just know, try a lot of them. Go get some water. Go walk and get you some water, right? You see movement on there, so I don't have to talk about that one next. Sleep. If you're not able to sleep, again, that's stressful to your body because your brain isn't having the opportunity to recharge. How many of y'all don't put your phone on the charger at night? You don't? That's so good. What do? When do you charge it? You never charge your phone? I do, but no. Thank you so much. Nah. So yeah, most of us put our phone on the charger at night, right? Not sleeping a lot, not getting enough sleep, those are ways that your body are also going to be stressed out. So you want to pay attention to how much sleep you're getting. If you notice that your body is drained or you're not having a good day, you kind of wake up feeling tired still, just know that's going to impact how you're able to handle what's going on around you too. It's not just in your head. Your body is really saying, like, this is too much for me. Eating healthy. I'm a vegan, and I love telling my mom that and that she should come to my world. But she don't listen to me. But she has started to listen to me about, like, having a rainbow diet. So you want to make sure that when you're eating, that your plate looks more like a rainbow versus monochromatic. So we don't want a lot of news of the browns and the blacks and the starches and stuff. Not black, I'm sorry. I'm a bad cook. A lot of my food is black, okay? This is probably why I need to be a vegan, right? I can eat it all raw. No, but having rainbow foods will also help you. The second mind outside of here is going to be in your gut. Your gut health is essential to how your body is able to function. So knowing what you're putting in you is the fuel source. You would not think that it's normal to go to the gas station, fill up your car with gas, and then as soon as you drive off, the car starts like chugging along and like sit there, right? You wouldn't think it's normal for it to stall out. Same thing for your body. It's not normal for you to eat and then stall out. So you want to have a rainbow diet. Movement is good just to give you some happy hormones, so your dopamine, your oxytocin, your serotonin, and your endorphins. Breathing is so essential to how your body operates. You can live 2 weeks without food, 3 days without water. How long can you go without breathing? Right? And you're doing good at a couple. Yeah, so your breathing is going to be essential to how you're actually able to function. So when you notice that your body is really stressed out, you can just focus in on your breathing. That's probably one of the best tools that I have up here for you, just because you will be able to just focus in on, okay, am I okay here and now? Remember, your brain wants 2 things: to feel safe and know that it belongs. As long as it knows it's not in imminent danger, you're already starting to regulate. Looking up. Again, I give you a lot of facts. So looking up tells your brain to think about what I'm thinking about. Here is when you're paying attention to what you're hearing. And when you look down, what do you think you're accessing? Your emotions. Yeah. It's just your emotions. Think about when you see people cry. Not most people cry like this, unless it's like my kids and they're asking me for something, I'm saying no. But how do most people cry? They usually put their head down. That's because your brain is accessing all of your feelings at that time. So doing the opposite will actually help you start to regulate more. No, it's not a one-stop shop. Yes, you can still cry while you're up here, and you can feel nervous and everything while you're up here, but it slows it down to the point that your brain says, okay, I'm not in imminent danger. Remember, it wants 2 things: to feel safe and know that it belongs. Music. I hear kids love music all the time. Yeah, you do, girl. What you like?
I like gospel.
You like gospel music? What song?
I like If You Did It Before. And then I like the song that I sing to Early Victory by Anthony Brown. I think that's in red.
Nice job. Very good. Yeah, so you can use music to also help regulate. So you pick a song that matches where you are. So if you're feeling upset, what's an old song? Y'all ask for gospel. I don't know any angry gospel songs, but y'all gonna make me lose my mind. I'm sorry. Please. Maybe ask me back outside of church. I'm sorry. Okay? So you start at a song that matches where you are. And then you pick songs that gradually get you to where you want to go. And so you can end with, give me a gospel song.
I was going to sing Revolution by Kirk Franklin.
All right. We need a revolution. Yeah. Yeah, you can end with like revolution, stomp, smile. Very good. So you start with what you're feeling, and then you end at where you want to be. Make sense? So music, if you want to use music, it's not only used to check out, but it can get you to check back in as well. And then connecting with others. This is when everybody comes in. You don't have to close it off. Like, nothing's wrong with you because you're feeling. You want to be able to let that out. If you try to hold it in, it's like holding in a fart. How many of those you think you're going to hold in? It's not going to be good after a while, y'all. It's not going to be good. Your emotions are the same way. You have to find space to let it out. So you want to find people that you can connect with and talk to and just be truly genuine about what's going on inside of you. Everybody understands that analogy, huh? I already know y'all do. Now, that's how we regulate ourselves. The other part of it is how we can support our youth and being able to help them regulate. First thing is being able to recognize when they are at the red, when their lid is flipped and they're not present in that moment to be able to have a rational conversation. Telling them to calm down over and over and over, that usually will get you more of what you don't want, right? So giving them space to be like, yeah, go ahead and have your moment. Like at my house, we don't do timeout. We don't do timeout at all, actually. But it's more when they're upset, they have to stay with me. No, you don't get to go anywhere. Because guess what? Anger is okay here too. Like frustration is okay here too. I'm not going to say everything that you want to hear. I'm not going to say everything that you're okay with. It's okay for you to be around me and not like what has just happened. And I want you to be able to be comfortable expressing that. So same thing is you're sitting in it with them. That's it. After that, you can reason with them. Like, yeah, that part sucks. Like that is hard. Whatever is going on for you. That's tough. And then after that, we can come up with some reasons or some coping skills or what do we need to do next to help support you, okay? Next, listen without criticizing, analyzing, judging, or fixing. Please, if you don't take nothing else away from what I'm teaching you as a supporter of youth, learn to listen. Learn to listen. It really is profound when you have somebody that you can go to and you can tell them, like, this is what's going on with me, and all they're going to be like, yeah, that's hard. They don't want to fix you because nothing's wrong. They don't want to judge you and tell you, like, you know how many more people got it worse off than you? Like, you got both your legs, don't you? So you need to be happy. Yeah, no, we're not switching it up. We're telling you get to be right where you are. So don't try to fix, analyze, or judge what's going on for them in that moment. Just learn how to listen to them. Allow and accept all emotions. We already kind of went over that one. Encourage help, like professional help. The difference between talking to your aunt or talking to your cousin or your best friend is the difference between you telling me you got a sore throat and I tell you, like, if you take a quarter and tape it to your belly button and then turn around and then rub some Vicks, like, you're going to feel so much better, right? Put it on the bottom of your feet at night. Wait till about 9 o'clock. Put your socks on. Y'all know all of those? Yeah. Versus me just taking you to a doctor. Okay? So as professionals, we do this and we love it. This is what we enjoy doing. We want to hear what's going on with you. No, it's not a burden. No, it's not too much. We want to know what's really going on in your life. We want you to be able to be emotionally honest. And we're going to tell you that sometime when you're feeling emotionally honest and you're saying it, it's not going to line up logically for you. You're going to feel the difference between what you think, like, I don't really want to feel this way, and then what you're feeling is, I really feel this way. So having somebody who can professionally support you is profound. And find somebody that works for you. Know that therapists are like restaurants. I might take you to a phenomenal vegan restaurant, mama, and it'd be like the best thing ever. And y'all show up and be like, she's eating dog food. Like, she's eating dog food. So then she's going to take me to another restaurant that she enjoys. Same thing. Therapists are like restaurants. Find the restaurant that you enjoy going to that nobody is going to be able to tell you anything different. It's not dog food. It's really natural, okay? And then we've all have learned and grown in our experiences. Don't be afraid to teach them the tools that you have learned. Like, we've all taken away lessons in life. You can teach that. Like, you go further teaching somebody how to fish, than just giving them the fish. So give them the tools that you have used to get through your hardest times, but also be aware of your limitations there, okay? If you have any biases, if you have any beliefs, if you have anything that you may have dealt with growing up that you may not have touched on, and now this kid is coming and talking to you about this space that you have not wanted to go back to in a long time, know that it's okay not to go there with them. But you can tell them, like, look, I don't know how to handle this conversation with you. Let me find somebody else that can. It's more helpful when you have a full cup to pour from than when you're trying to pour from an empty cup. So knowing where you are and what you can do can make a huge difference in how you support people, okay? And then the last slide is just our contact information. There you go. And that QR code, it is a resource to all of, or not all of, just some of our coping skills that we recommend to people. So feel free to scan it and use that. Again, you cannot pour from an empty cup. So to be able to help somebody else, you first have to know how to help yourself. And so knowing how to take better care of you, because self-care is not just about getting your hair and nails done and going out for a little bit. No, it's about taking care of your insides too. So be sure that you know how to take care of you. And the rest of the information is Hurt Speaks Wellness Center. That's me. That's our office number. And then the National Suicide Hotline. Like, if you don't find anybody you can talk to, even at school, you can always call 988. There's somebody that's going to answer. It's 24/7, 365. You can text it. And that's when you feel like, I don't really want to be here anymore. I don't really want to do this anymore. That is a sign that you're in the red and you've been in the red for a very long time. And we want you here. So knowing how to get support when you need it most is very essential for what you do, okay? And I think that's it, y'all. Finished. Thank you. Is it Q&A now? All right. Thank you. Thank you. Yep. What questions do you have? Yeah, y'all could tell that was my school question, huh? What questions do you have? Yes, ma'am.
How long have you been doing this?
Ooh, which part? The whole thing? Like start to finish from school?
How long have you been? Did you really want to do this when you were younger?
You should ask my mom that question. Yes, I did and didn't know it. So I've been in education and doing like therapy work for 15 years. Something around there, girl. I stopped counting after a while. Yeah.
I want to do the same thing as you.
Go for it. Yeah.
2.5 years. I was going to talk to the thing on the QR code after I'm 18. Is that right?
The QR code is for resources to help you be able to regulate your emotions. The rest of the stuff, you can look up schools that have different programs. Great question. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
What's your favorite song?
My favorite song? Ooh, you put me on the spot. Okay. So, the song I really wanted to sing was from this show. Turn on the light of heaven, Lord. Shine on me. Y'all remember that? Like it was church all the time for us. Yeah. Yes. It sounded like you said James Brown, but because I'm the only one not singing church songs up here.
Thank God by Kane Brown.
Thank you. Thank God by Kane Brown. I don't know if I know that one by name. Good one. I saw a hand in the back. Yes, ma'am.
So as a parent, I'm a 90s kid as well, and I see the difference in generations.
Mm-hmm.
So I know we can't raise the kids like how we was raised up. Sometimes when I look at the kids now, I be like, oh, I get why my parents did what they did. Because we have like a fearful respect for our parents.
Absolutely.
How do you think we should find balance in what to take from the textbook and what to take from what we got put on?
Phenomenal question. So essentially, it's a balance between understanding, it's the delivery of it. So don't take away the consequences. I'm sorry, y'all. I know you don't want to hear me say that. But don't take away the consequences. It's not about taking away the consequences. It's the difference from me telling you, go sit your colorful language down, and the difference between me telling you, like, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And cutting it off. Make sense? It's the faces and everything that came along with it, because at the end of the day, we can spank, we can do all of those things, but how many people in jail got spanked? So if that was the end all be all to everything or solution to everything, then you would be able to see that we don't have as many people in prison. So I always tell people it's the delivery of it. So what is your intent with the delivery? What do you want them to take away from what you're trying to teach them in that moment? Because, yeah, you don't have to go all the way soft in, like, the soft parenting and all of that. Yeah, we're not raising soft kids, so it's hard to soft parent to these hard ones. I'm a mom of boys, so we real rough around there all the time. So I'm not saying you got to be a soft parent, but I am saying, what are you trying to teach your kids? Because a lot of times the message is lost in the delivery. And so if you're trying to get them to understand something that's really important to you, but you're yelling and screaming and calling them out their name, they're going to miss the whole message. And the message they're going to understand is that you don't like me. You don't like me. Make sense? Thank you. Very good question. Okay, I see your hand. Back here in the green? No, over here. Yes.
What is the biggest challenge to get parents to buy in to understand the children? Because I know a lot of parents deal with their own issues. And sometimes, a lot of times, they feel like their children are being just like them. But how do you get parents to accept their own challenges and their own issues that they've never dealt with, to make them to understand that what their child is doing is not normal?
Absolutely. The first thing I tell them is apple and tree. Like, I don't get coconuts from an apple tree. So your kid isn't learning it from nowhere. So first understanding, like, yeah, if this is hard for you to watch and see happening all over again, they had to learn it from somewhere. And if you want to say, like, okay, but it didn't happen in our house, where did they learn it? And giving them the space to kind of be an individual, because a lot of times we are seeing what we want to see because we haven't dealt with our own stuff. And so it's really hard to convince people to go into those hard, dark, scary, lonely places. And so you just have to keep encouraging them. Like, when you're ready to do your work, like, I'm here for you. Yeah, I know it's hard. I know it's hard. Just a little bit at a time. Yes.
How can you bring the heart like children, the parent and the child coming together as when they were first born, get that connection back again? Because in time, a child is separated from their parents because with all the devices that they have now and everything that they're learning, they don't have that connection with their parents, the love connection. How can we get back to that?
Yeah, we're missing the people connection in general. A lot of times it's, are you safe to feel with? So when I have kids in my office, they're not quick to pull out a device or wanting to go do something else. It's because I'm sitting there and I'm fully engaged with you. The hard spaces that we're living in now is like with the economy being the way that it is, a lot of parents have to work. And then when you get off of work, you probably may be going to your second job or trying to figure out another way to do something or get a break, or you switch into your parenting job that doesn't pay and doesn't have any benefits either. And you're tired. You're tired at the end of the day. So that's kind of what is coming from the parent side of you're being tired and you don't want to neglect your kids, but there is a thing called emotional poverty. And so you yourself don't have the capacity to show up in the ways that you want, hence why we like vacation so much, because in those moments, we're able to just step away from our reality and we get to be fully present again. So it's being aware first, how are you? I tell people to do a lot of self-check-ins throughout the day. How am I in this moment? If you can name it, you can tame it. If you can feel it, you can heal it. So knowing, how am I? Well, what does that look like in my body when I'm feeling this way? Do I have the capacity to show up? So my kids, I'll tell them all the time, look, I'm really tired. Like, mommy's really tired. The best thing I can do for you right now is just hug you. Like, can we just sit here? And when you sit here, don't roll all over me. Just sit here. Be still. And just be still. Okay, listen. Y'all gonna have to go upstairs and play because I don't have it right now. And they're okay with that because I'm telling you, it's not you. It's not you. You're not my issue. And so what that does is lets them be kids still, and I get to say, like, I'm human, and they get to see me not always being great and what to do with that. So to answer your question, because that was really long, The first thing is just being able to feel with them. Like, be honest with what you're feeling. Not like you got to tell them, baby, I got all these bills and everything, but more so like, I just got a lot going on and it's not you. This is what I can do for you. Does that make sense? Yes.
How do you communicate that to other parents? I work with preschools.
Mm-hmm.
So, like 8 hours a day, they're all over me.
Mm-hmm.
But when their parents come, they're like,
They want you. Yeah, my son loved his daycare teacher.
other parents.
Just like this. I tell him the same thing. It's you get to spend time. You're spending 8 hours a day. So in a classroom, I always tell them, y'all are my second family. Like I'm seeing you more than I'm seeing my own kids. So
They don't, some of the parents, like, don't really, they really, literally don't get it.
they don't have the capacity to get it. There's a difference. Well, I went to Sam Houston. I studied in a program that now it's really hard. It's not a figment of your imagination. Like, it really is hard. When you have somebody who doesn't want to receive what you're saying, who does not want to connect with the kid, who just wants the kid to kind of just like, I'm going to need you to go over there and do your thing to where you're not bothering me, or don't do anything at all, it's really hard. And it sucks. That is the part that sucks, because there are a lot of people that aren't able to receive what you're saying because they do hear it as a criticism. They do hear it as a judgment of what I'm doing. And so now you're tapping into their hurts, and that's not about you. It's about them. So the best thing you can do is just, hey, so-and-so really enjoys doing this at school, or giving the projects or whatever that they do at daycare, and say, like, try and take this home. How did they do that? And give them ideas too. But if they don't want to do it, you can't force them to do it. That is the part that's hard. Yeah. Yes. While out. Okay. Yeah. Same thing, like I told her, you're limited by what they're able to actually receive from you. So if they don't want to receive it, they don't want to receive it. But I am very blunt when I talk to adults, and I'll tell them, like, it's you. Like, I don't know other way you want to hear this, but it is you. Like, you are the person. I always tell people, though, flowers can grow through concrete. I mean, we've seen flowers grow through concrete, but what you won't find is a whole bouquet. So you can survive through hardship, but you're never going to be able to thrive in it. So at some point, you have to either choose to take the plant out of the concrete and plant it in nourishing soil, and then learn to sprinkle the seeds over there instead of trying to continuously put it back in the concrete to say, but I did it, right? So people are usually talking from the capacity that they know to understand. And if they don't know how to come out the concrete, that's not you. All you can do is tell them, like, but there's some nourishing soil over here. So when you're ready for it, y'all both can go over there and things can be a lot different. But again, it takes a lot of work, and you're asking them to go to uncomfortable places. And so you have to give people the space to move at the pace that they need. Otherwise, it can become more harmful than helpful. But it's hard. It is hard to watch people struggle, especially people we care about. Yes.
Do you have materials that people can read?
Like stuff that I wrote? No. No. I've been told that. I got a lot of facts stored up here. But yeah, the book that I recommend the most, my number one recommended book for parents is When Children Grieve. It's on the website. It's on, I want to say the QR code as well. If it's not, it'll be there when you check next time because I'm going to have to update it. But When Children Grieve is phenomenal. What it teaches you how to do is first feel with kids. Kids don't want to know that you can think with them. They want to know that your heart hears them. And so being able to just sit there and not take what they're saying personal and be able to say, like, yeah, that is tough. I can't imagine how that feels. Can you tell me more? What is that like for you? Because they are experiencing a different reality than what we grew up in. I always tell people, like, they don't ever get to step away from their peers. We got the worst thing that could happen to you is that your name went into a slam book when I was in school. And then whoever had the slam book is who really got to know everything. You don't remember the slam book? Okay. Okay. Yeah, that was like the worst thing. Or you got a letter written about you and like the worst thing happened, somebody rip it up in front of you. Now they put it on social media. And so remember, when they are, especially adolescents, so starting at about the age of 10, that's really when their brain starts to move into that yellow and red more frequently because they're no longer in the space where they're looking to their parents for guidance. They're looking to their peers for guidance. And so it's like the blind leading the blind. If you've ever been to a junior high, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, oh my God. Yeah, they look toward each other for it. And that's like, well, we all out here just trying to, help me figure this out. Where are we going? So, yeah. Any other questions? All right. Thank you so much.